Start. All right. So, okay, open the floodgate. Let's go to YouTube. Give it a second.
Tell me what.
Okay.
Let me see if we're on here.
And then let me. Can you hear me my phone? So I could check it with him.
All right.
It
How
takes
come
a
I am
couple.
not?
It take like I've told you.
It's got a delay.
Yes. He doesn't believe me when I tell him there's a delay.
Oh, hey, look, it takes us time to get used to things.
Oh, there we go. I think we just came up.
Yeah, I hear it. All right. By the way, what we didn't do is change the name. It still says show update. What do you want to name this?
Let's just say Justin's. Justin's investigation. And we got 2 watching already.
Have we? My word.
Yeah, we'll see what we got here. Let's see what we got.
Sometimes because you're doing it on your phone and I'm doing it on my phone and we're both looking at it, it'll count us.
Oh, okay. All right.
So hold your horses. And that one is me. But now there's 3.
Okay. Well, there's nobody there yet.
Well, there's 4.
So we'll give it.
There's 4 apparently.
Oh, I'm only seeing 1 right now.
Well, I see. I'm actually looking at the stream, so there's.
Okay, good. So you can help me if I'm missing questions, Ryan. You'll have to jump in then. So let's get the show on the road.
I mean,
hey, everybody!
You can look it up, and the chat should be there, like I've showed you.
Yeah, I know, but it isn't showing right now.
You give it a minute. Sometimes it's a little later.
All right.
Well, you chaps have fun.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in a little bit, and we're on the. Well, Ryan, the only problem is I'm not getting the chat up here, Ryan. Oh well. Hopefully it'll come up in a second. Hey, everybody. It's Larry and Chris from On the Air with Indian River Hauntings. Thanks for being with us tonight. Hopefully I'm going to be able to see your chats on there. There we go. Commanding Judge Drudge is with us. So I know we're getting the feed. And it's great to be back. Sorry we were a week late, but it's going to be worth it. We had a great investigation last week that we're going to be telling you about in the not too distant future. But tonight's show is going to be really interesting. And as always, Larry Lawson here from Indian River Hauntings and the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigation, and my co-host Christopher Huff in County Durham, England. And if you haven't been with us before, it's about 7 o'clock Eastern time here in the U.S., and Chris stays up till after midnight just doing this show with us to do it live. So really appreciate you being here tonight, Chris.
It's the power of beer.
The power of beer. We're going to talk more about that beer in just a second.
We're going to talk more about beer.
Okay. Oh, and the Rondazzos are with us, and Spanky's with us. Debbie Enzi, good to see you, Debbie. A lot liking your posts lately. I like the bird you put on your as your new picture on your Facebook. That was kind of cool. So with that, as I said, tonight's going to be a very interesting show. We're going to do something. We're changing it up again, and I'm hoping technology doesn't screw me up because I am just terrible at technology, but I think it's going to work great because Ryan has set me up. Ryan, are you still out there?
No, he's gone.
He's gone. He's with his girlfriend. Okay, but Ryan, my son Ryan's out there engineering it from his home up in Gainesville, Florida. Oh, there he is. Say hi to everybody, Ryan.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, there we go. Yup. The man of few words. A couple of shout outs, and so we'll start there because what, Ryan?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
He's going to turn the headphones off now.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, some shout outs to begin the show. You know, we like to do that. First and foremost, how can I not start this show without saying hi to my good friend Ike Enzi and his beautiful wife Debbie out there in glorious New Mexico. And Ike has a YouTube program that I strongly recommend that you take a look at, like, and subscribe. And that's IDK Paranormal. That's Indigo Delta Kilo, IDK Paranormal. Great show. They do some great investigations out there. Ike tends to do the show with his daughter, Chris, and who proudly serves us in the National Guard. So I want to say hi to them. Want to say hi to Rob Walzak at Ghost Gear, really unique paranormal equipment inventor in Louisiana. So hi to Rob at Ghost Gear. His email, by the way, www.ghostgear.com. ghostgeartech.com. That's his website. I'm sorry. Doodlebug Dowsing, our good friends Sherry and Nikki, part of my team, but they own Doodlebug Dowsing, and they're the ones that we get all of our terrific dowsing rods from. And you're going to see some of that tonight in our show. Paradolia Brewery. We're going to be talking more about Paradolia. My good friend Pete at Paradolia Brewery in Sebastian, Florida. And you can find them at www.paradoliabrewing.com. And finally, our friends at the Driftwood Resort in Vero Beach and the Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Some very haunted and terrific places to visit. So those are my shout outs. Chris, you want to say hi to anybody?
Nobody I know's around.
Yeah, they're all sleeping. Let's
They're
see
all
who else we
asleep.
got here. Debbie's talking about loving beer. Good job, Deb. And hey, Ike's up there. IDK is in the house. Judge Bobby Garcia. Bobby,
Hey.
good to see you. But yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, my friend. So we got anybody else up here? I think that's it right now. We got about 8 folks watching. So if you're out there watching, pop up and say hi so we can recognize you. This show is about paranormal investigation and research. This is about all of us getting together and sharing things and sharing our knowledge and our interest and love for the field, not to mention the beer that Chris is drinking. Which brings us to our beer challenge. Now, if you've watched IDK Paranormal or our show, you know that we always do a beer challenge, and it's my turn tonight. And I'm going back to my good friends at IDK Paranormal at Paradolia Brewery in Sebastian, Florida. Big 32-ounce kegger here. Yeah, it's good stuff. This is a Stratus Mexican Porter. You know I like the porters, the darker stuff. 5.8 by volume. So that's what I'm going to crack in a second. And what are you drinking there, Christopher?
Well, this one's an Old Peculiar. And this is a 5.6. And it's very dark and it's a little sweet and it's very pleasant.
Ah, okay. Well,
and it's empty.
It's empty. Well, mine is
so
not.
So we're now going to go on to King Goblin, which is a very healthy 6.6%.
Oh, you got me beat tonight. I'm at 5.8.
So there we go. Schlanche.
Cheers.
Oh, very pleasant.
Oh, for a porter, that's really mild, very smooth. I can't say there's any chocolate in there, but I get some spice
Sweet,
in there.
Bitter.
No, it's more spicy.
Beer to have with the curry.
Yeah, that's quite a good beer. I'm going to give mine. I like that taste. Nice aftertaste. Again, this is Paradolia's own Stratus Mexican Porter. I'm going to give this an 8. That is some of the best.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, this is excellent.
Send me a case. If only.
32 ounces. I don't know where I'm going to be at the end of the show, but the folks at Paradolia always get a kick out of it because I drink out of the big can. I'm supposed to pour it into a glass. That is the
absolutely. You need to put some air with it and let it fester and give it a couple of minutes for the flavors to develop. That's the one.
I'm sure I'm pouring this in correctly. There we go. So we'll
just leave it for a minute and let it go down, and then you get the taste.
All right. So anyway, so much for that. Onward to the show tonight. Interesting investigation. Now, folks, I don't know if you remember from the last show we talked about it. We've got a whole new protocol with our team, the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigation, and that includes, whenever possible, Chris joining us via Skype. Now, as a cop, I had trouble understanding that. That was a tough concept for me until I actually came across somebody a couple of years ago that was able to do some stuff over the phone. And we decided to try this via Skype with Chris. So he joins us on our investigations while the team is going through their protocols and whatnot. I will first do a walkthrough with Chris on Skype. I literally put him on there and I walk him through the building. He never knows where we are at.
That's what I was going to say. Okay. I insist.
Yeah, he does not know where we're at. He doesn't know who's there. He doesn't know any history. And as he likes to say, he's 99% sure it's in Florida, 98% sure he's in Vero Beach?
No,
How do you-
99% in America, 98 in Florida, and 97% in Vero Beach.
And that's about all you
And
know.
also, because it's only you hearing, none of the other team know anything that I'm saying.
That's correct. Whenever we do this, I put my earphones on, and Chris is giving me information he's seeing, and my team is also giving me information. And we've really gotten some terrific correlation of evidence, and we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. The place that we visited was for this show. We were there back in February. It was a place called Justin's Hair Salon. It's in Vero Beach. This is a location that we actually take our walking historical tours on the beach through. And it was just part of the tour walk, and it's behind some buildings in a very nice area in Vero Beach's beach area. And this is also the spot where a lot of the tour has continued to evolve. And what I mean by that is, as taking folks through there, one day the owner of the salon came down and just, "Oh, are you here to investigate the lady?" And I said, "Pray tell, what lady?" And he went on to tell me about things that were going on in the shop just above the street where we were doing the tour. And I won't go through the whole how it all went, but we ended up doing an investigation there, getting some good EVPs. My son Evan had seen a vision in the window that was later corroborated by a young lady who didn't know any of the story, but she saw the same vision in that window and described it to us. And Chris even thirdly confirmed that, not knowing this story. So that was pretty interesting. So with that, Chris, you want to try to get this video up and we can go from there?
Go for it and let's see what happens.
Go for it. All right.
And if it all fails, hey, we just keep talking.
We just keep talking. Here we go, folks. Let's see if Larry gets this right. Are you seeing it, Chris?
Not seeing a thing.
You're not seeing it. Okay, that is because I think I need to do something called screen share, don't I?
Probably.
Yeah, there we go. How we go. Sorry, guys. Ryan, where are you when I need you? Turn the audio on. Now, one thing we're going to do, folks, is we're going to start it and stop it here a little bit and talk. I would love to hear. I've got your chats coming up. If you got some questions or something, I would really love to. You see it?
No, I'm seeing me.
You're seeing you. That's a scary.
I'm seeing me. That is that's better.
All right. Let's. So here we go. And Tom Randazzo, Tom's out there. He's the one that put this together for us. He's the one that came up with all the interesting prelude to it. So give Tom a whole lot of credit for that. If you cannot see this, please let me know. I am. Are you seeing it, Ryan?
Hold on. I see it in the
I've got it. I can see it.
It's not coming up for me.
FBPI Studios.
All right, we're going to run this. Here we go.
Go for it.
Well, I can't see
it.
So
there we go. It's working.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Turn this down a little bit.
Lovely.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, if I can't see it, no one can see it.
Okay.
Oh, I can.
All right.
Good times with Tom and Jill can't see it. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
See. All right. So what am I
doing?
So
basically, when I get out of Skype, there's a pop-up that comes up sometimes. I could see it on there. So let me. Hold on. Let me try something. Give me a second.
Hold on, folks. Just bear with us as we do a little tap dance. Nothing on the screen. Thanks, guys. Let me know. We're going to be up there in just a second. I did everything you told me to, Ryan. I swear.
Well, no, it's not. I know. It's OBS. So do not worry. I will fix this.
That's why we have Ryan
famous last words, isn't it?
I can fix this.
Ryan can fix this. While Ryan's fixing this, let's have a little chat about something.
Can you screen share now?
Okay, then let me back out of this, and I'm screen sharing. It's okay. I am hitting desktop, turning the sound on, and hitting start sharing. How about now, Ryan?
You're not screen sharing.
Well, I can see it, so
it's not coming to me like it was before.
Folks, bear with us. I knew I'd screw this up somehow. Let me back out of it again.
It should allow us all to see it.
Okay, so I hit the blue desktop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hit share computer sound. Don't lose us. Don't hang in there with us, folks. We're going to get this right yet. Okay. And we're back up. Do you see it yet, Ryan?
No.
This was just, folks, this was just
Okay,
working.
so there it is, but it's not showing how I want it to show. Choose screen to share. I don't want to share my screen.
And
If
you
I
guys wonder
pull
why I
out,
drink on
there
the
it
show.
is. Everyone could see it when I do that.
Okay, then let's
It's
do
weird.
it.
So well, no, it's not going to work like that. When you screen share, when you minimize Skype and it puts like a little like box in the top corner to still see people.
Mm-hmm.
It shows up when that little box comes out, but I can't make it big like I was before we started.
Okay. Well, before we lose everybody, Ryan, what can we do?
Well, what do you want me to do? Okay, so we're trying.
All right.
Keep
Anyway,
screen
Chris,
sharing.
let's talk. Okay, I am taking this off. Chris, let's talk a little bit about this investigation. So we initially walked through, just you and I, through the shop by ourselves. Do you recall any of the feelings you got? Oh, I see something coming up here. Do you recall any of the visions that you got when we walked up there in particular?
It's very hard to remember, actually. I mean, I don't remember an awful lot when I do these. I'm so far removed from reality, if you like, that I just don't remember. The only one I really remember was B, but I don't know if you want to talk about this now or later.
Let's talk about B, and I'll kind of set the stage as Ryan is working on this a little bit. We got up there into the salon. The salon's very narrow. It's only about 12 feet wide, and it's about 40, 50 feet in length. And we walked into what was the massage area, and you immediately got hit with somebody that caught your fancy, so to speak.
Oh, certainly. If you sort of think of someone in a sort of, how do I describe it? A silky, low cut, red and blacky sort of dress. Very low cut, with a peroxide blonde hairstyle, looking rather like a young Shelley Winters.
Mm-hmm.
That was B, and she was quite a well-built young lady. Well, not young lady, but she was very well built, and she was incredibly overt, and she was all woman. And the first thing that she said to me was, as Larry walked through the door, "My, isn't he a big boy?"
Well, I'm going to back up just a little bit to give folks some foundation here. One of the things that we found out in the beauty salon was that there was a female up there that was opening doors and shutting windows and moving stuff around almost in a prankster sort of fashion. It's interesting because, as I told you, the owner of the shop had come down and said that they had activity up there. Well, unbeknownst to me at the time, my next door neighbor's daughter-in-law was one of the hairstylists. So I confirmed it with her. Oh, yeah, we've got all this stuff going on up there. So we walk into the place, and Chris immediately gets hit with this rather buxomy, is that the proper word?
Yeah, will do.
Yeah.
Buxom is good, is the adjective, buxom.
Yeah. Almost like what do you call it? Mae West, I think is the word.
She had the attitude of a Mae West, but she looked like a young Shelley Winters.
Yes, yeah. And go ahead. Do you recall how she kind of addressed you and I while we were at it?
Well, she was more addressing you than me. She was almost like she was trying to embarrass me. That's how you go. She was one of these very all women. She wasn't afraid of men at all, and she intimidated. She was very good at intimidating, but intimidating by being very feminine. And the first thing she said is, "Isn't he a big boy?" And then she suddenly came out with, "Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?" And she was just on all the time with this, and she was wonderful. I wish she could come home with me. I really do. She was wonderful. She's lovely. Bubbly lady, very warm, very affectionate. She would never cause any harm to anyone. She's lovely.
Mm-hmm. The next entity you found up there, I think there were 3 total. The next one,
I do remember there was A younger woman in a white dress with long dark hair.
Which, interestingly, and yes, go ahead.
I got the name Jenny, but as I say to everyone who listens, I am not brilliant with names. And I'll get 4 or 5 names, and you'll just get a flavour of what the name could be. Jenny, Janie, Junie, June, Jane. This, it's sort of it's an approximation. So I just work. People will say, "Oh, you're fishing for names." It's not. That's just what I'm trying to get this. Oh, I'll get half a name or something. I mean, B. I don't know what B's name is. Oh, hello. I'm back.
Okay, I'm just keep going, my friend. I'm just trying to see if I can get the thing up here.
I didn't know what her name was. It might not even be a name. It might be just something she called herself. But that's all I got. B. Whether that's B as in a letter B or B as in BEA. Yeah. But she was lovely. Jenny was. I didn't really make contact with Jenny. That was the name of the woman with the slight build, long dark hair.
Yeah.
White dress woman.
Now, what was super interesting about this one, folks, is a year and a half prior to that, while on several tours, my son Evan, Ryan's brother, had told me of he had seen a young lady standing in the window, very sad. And that's if we can get the video up, I'll be able to show you. But the salon is on the second floor of this very narrow building, and there's a window facing the walkway that we were at. And Evan had told me he had seen the figure up there and said, very sad. She's trying to reach you, Dad, but I don't know why. And he'd seen her a couple times. Then it was not long before COVID hit. We were on a tour, and 2 young ladies on the tour came up to me, and the one said, "My friend wants to talk to you, Mr. Lawson." I said, well, what is it? Well, I see this girl in the window, and I stopped her right there because Evan was with us. And I said, "Evan, come on over here. I want you to hear this before she tells me." Now, I had not told anybody this story before because I couldn't corroborate it. And she began to describe once again a sad young lady wearing a white dress and long dark hair standing in that window. Exactly what Ryan had described. Evan had described. Now, Chris didn't know this story. As I told you before, we don't do anything. We don't tell him anything about where we're going. And we'd gone into the shop, and he told us about B, and she was kind of the gregarious one. But then you told me about the other young lady, and if I'm not mistaken, she was in the main. You saw her while we were sitting in the main cutting area, if memory serves. And
I honestly can't remember.
Well, you wouldn't have. It was hard for you to see it anyway. You were on Skype, but we were in the main cutting area, and you once again described her. But you were able also to tell us why she was sad to some degree, and it was the loss of a child.
That's right. Yes, that's right. I mean, I can't remember all this until you tell me. It's so peculiar. The only reason I can remember B so well is she really made an impression.
Yeah, and you still think about her. You still bring her up there.
Oh yeah, she was incredible.
But it was probably the third person you saw up there that really hit home to me, and I really had thought of.
You're going to have to tell the story of this because I'll tell you if you get it wrong, but this is a personal one for Larry.
This is a personal one, folks, and bear something in mind. There would have been no reason for me to bring this up. And I thought quite a bit about sharing this with you guys. And I said, yeah, why not? You're all friends out there. Chris sees a third woman up there. Very kind of cranky, cantankerous type of female. Very religiously, fanatically religious. Would that be a good way to put it, Chris?
Bigoted.
Okay.
Completely and utterly bigoted. If you can imagine the worst type of religious bigot you've ever met or heard about, this was her.
Well,
and she was also fairly tall, and she was quite thin, and she was quite chiseled in the face. Her features. But no, go on. You carry on with it.
So Chris goes on to say that she was looking at me as I won't say exactly the word he said because this is sort of a family show. Said she's looking at you like you're poop on her shoe, and he used another word for poop, like you're just a piece of garbage. And he said her name is Florence. Didn't say a word. And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you don't.
I did not give you
say
any.
a word. You don't give me any hints, anything
Nor did I
until
give you any.
afterwards.
Nor did I give you any facial expressions.
And you've never ever mentioned your grandmother to me before.
Well, you just gave this. You just gave the story away.
All right.
It was. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Unbeknownst to Chris, he 100% accurately described my grandmother, who died in 1973. For lots of reasons, religious reasons. She was not really open to my mom and our side of the family. And I don't really talk about this too often, but like I said, you guys are all friends, so I don't mind sharing it with you. But he described her physically, personality-wise, and got her name correct. So I didn't say a word for the rest of the investigation. And then towards the end, he told me that Florence had come back into the picture and actually was looking for my forgiveness and asked me to light a candle. Now, I don't mind telling you, I'm Baptist by faith, but my dad's side of the family was and my grandmother in particular was very staunchly Catholic. And she said, and Chris once again didn't know any of this, said she wants you to light a candle for her, which is a very common practice in the Catholic religion. And she wants you to forgive her and light a candle for her. It was at that point I told Chris that he had been talking to me about my grandmother. Why she came through, maybe she just found an opening and wanted to tell me. But I know this. I don't know if this has happened to any of you folks out there at all. But this was a significant moment for me because here is a gentleman who did not have any of this information, yet completely accurately described something he couldn't have known. We were talking to Ryan before the show tonight. He didn't even know my grandmother's
And Brian
name.
didn't know. No,
No, she passed away when I was in high school. Not even in high school. I think it was like a freshman or eighth grader or something like that. So that was a pretty significant event to me. Once again, why did it happen in the Justins? I don't know. Chris?
Only because there was an opening. You were there. She's probably been following you around for a while, and she saw an opening and took it.
Yeah, and
the reason why she came through with her mortal personality was so you'd recognize her.
Oh, and I did too.
And the reason why she was there came through afterwards when she was completely different.
Yeah. And it that was a significant event for me, and I really was looking forward to doing this show tonight because I wanted to share this with you folks because you don't often get to tell a personal story. I mean, I've done these, hundreds of investigations, and this is probably the most personal event that has happened to me. I mean, I've seen things, I've heard things, but this really struck home. So I wanted to share this with you and how we got this information. Now, getting back to the investigation itself, part of the video you're going to see tonight, and Ryan, can you hear me at all, Ryan?
I don't think he's around.
Yeah, well, I can see he's trying to fix it here because I can see his comment here in the.
I don't know what's going on.
Still trying to work it, Ryan?
Yeah, it worked earlier between you and me. We both saw it.
I think it's because you got a three-way channel.
Screen share should work regardless.
Should it? I don't know. Okay, Skype is baffling to me anyway.
I'm gonna step out of it. I'm gonna try one more time, Ryan. Just try one more time.
We're gonna have to go to Zoom.
Yeah, we'll try that next time. Let's see what happens.
Because,
I'm back again.
Because on Zoom we can do it for
that's good.
30 plus
that's
people.
Good. I've got it.
Yeah, you can see it, Chris, but the
no one else can.
Audience can. I'm really sorry, Tom. Tom Rendezzo did a great job on this, and what we're going to do, folks, I'm going to go ahead and back out of it so you can at least see us. What we're going to do is go ahead and put it public on the channel.
Put it on the channel, and we'll just talk
I'm
about
really,
it
really
tonight.
sorry. We're trying to get this thing figured on. So, and Bobby Garcia actually goes, "Yes, sir, was raised Catholic," and that is spot on. So Bobby's very, very similar with or has knowledge of the Catholic faith and how they do things. But it was, man, I tell you what, guys, I kind of get hair stands up on the back of my neck thinking about it now. And there's going to be folks out there that are going to watch this show and say, "What a bunch of BS! He's making it up." That's the one thing about this field,
They
folks.
won't be any harsher on me than I am on myself.
Yeah. Well, no, it's me, and it's me also. But folks, those of you that have experienced something like this, you understand. Those of you that are a little more open-minded understand that can occur. Just really, really something. But I want to move on to the rest of the investigation. Since we don't have the video, please understand we're going to have it out there. You'll be able to see it. I'll get it out there at the conclusion of the show tonight. I'm very, very sorry for any inconvenience because Tom Rendezza did a good job. But the video starts off with them downstairs in the area where we actually do our tours, and at the top of the steps is the salon, and you'll see that when you watch the video. And at this table downstairs where I usually have my guests in the tour set, I've had other folks that have psychic abilities say that somebody sits there with us, and we have constantly gotten positive EMF readings. We've gotten voice or spirit box readings there, voices and things like that. And that's what you'll see Tom, his wife Jill, Spanky, and Spanky Mike Maxwell and his wife Tina all going through that and getting some very, very interesting hints. Now, one thing that Jill did, in addition to having an EMF, they had a K2, they had a REM pod sitting there with them, and they also had these little, we call them the cat balls, and you guys can make some jokes about that, but they're little balls that when you touch them, they go off. And during the initial parts of this video, they were going off, and it was really quite interesting. Jill was also using an app on her phone as a spirit box also, I believe. So you'll see that on there, and they're a little bit clustered together, more so than I normally would like, simply because of the camera angle. They wanted to make sure they got everything in there, but it was really amazing that they were getting a lot of hits on all the equipment, including some interesting voices. Now, we weren't down there at that point, Chris, but we did go down later, and it was down there we met two particular people. One was Frank, and one was, you call him the surfer dude.
Oh, the surfer dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Frank at all, the boss man? Do you remember him at all?
Vaguely, in a white suit and hat in a car, in a sort of yellowy colored open top car.
And this was interesting because twice now since we've gone back there with tours, that same fella, and you don't even know this yet, Chris, we'll use dowsing rods there. We actually were able to get reactions to the rods to Frank. He's still hanging around there. And what we think, folks, is on this particular part on Vero's Beach, back in the roaring 20s during Prohibition, there were certain groups that would smuggle in beer from, or rum and whatnot, British rum from the Bahamas. We're very close proximity to the Bahamas, probably about 60 miles off our coast. And rum runners, bootleggers, would bring in beer, and a lot of them would stop right there on the beach. And we know of one spot there, that building's long gone, but what was there before was a speakeasy. And there was a group called the Ashley Gang that spent some time out there, and they were bootleggers as well as bank robbers and whatnot. So it was pretty interesting. And this guy Frank kept coming out. But I want to talk about the surfer dude for just a second.
Oh, dude.
Now,
hey, dude. How you doing, dude? How's it hanging, dude? Hey, dude. That's. I mean, this guy was spaced out. Even in the afterlife, he was spaced out.
He was. Well, and it was. And he describes a long, shaggy-looking blonde-haired dude.
Yeah, well, he really was. What's the name of that actor? Something Wilson.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Not Zach Wilson.
But long, sort of shoulder length hair and sort of like about what is it? A Hawaiian shirt and a pair of long shorts, and it was just, hey, dude, how's it hanging, dude? And this is all I was hearing.
But you felt he was just passing through, if memory serves.
I thought it was just passing through, but I'm not so sure. I think he might just be hanging around that whole area.
Well, while this was going on, Sherry, one of our team leaders, she owns Doodlebug Dowsing. She was sitting in the area right in front of us, sitting down, I believe, Indian, crossed legs, holding the rods. And Chris says to me, he's touching her hair. And about that time, she starts brushing the back of her hair. Now, I've got earphones on, so she can't hear anything at all. And I later asked her, and she said, yeah, so I felt like something was touching her hair. And Chris had told me that just prior to that. Sherry also had another interesting event. She had the rods in her hands, but she had to drop them because she was getting this incredibly strange energy or tingling through her hands. Very, very strange, but something that she didn't know that we were watching and Chris was actually talking about because I had the headphones on. That was pretty cool. But what more can you tell us that you can recall about Surfer Dude?
Not a lot, honestly. To tell you the truth, not a lot. He was just there and he was just out of it. He's no harm in him whatsoever. He's just, hey man, hey dude. Just a surfer dude. I liked him. I thought he was great fun.
Yeah, you liked him almost as much as you like to be.
No, not as much as B.
You like?
Oh okay. No, she can come home with me if she ever wants to.
Don't say that. You know better to say that.
Hey, she behave herself. She's lovely.
Yeah. So carrying on the investigation, we go back upstairs, and we are actually filming Sherry doing a really interesting rod session. And once again, it's at about starting at about 14:22 into the video. It's a 37-minute video. You'll see Sherry doing some really interesting rod work where she's getting some very, very solid answers to what is ever up there. So that is really cool. We did catch an EVP. I want to go back. I just saw this too. About 6:38 into the first part of it downstairs. I want to go back to that a little bit. We got an EVP of a giggle. I'm getting some sort of thumbs up on here. Was that you, Chris?
That was me. I'm trying to get clear. I've got some weird things happening on my screen. Weird things.
I'm just wondering if tonight might be an issue because of something going overseas. I don't know about that. So, at any rate, take a look at this video. It'll be going up about 6:38. We got a pretty good little EVP with a giggle, as well as some interesting stuff on the equipment that was down there. They actually mentioned my name. They were doing what we call a active listening session. Somebody had earphones on, and while another person was asking questions, earphones attached to a spirit box while somebody else was asking questions. Now, some of you, as you're watching it, may say they're awfully close, and it could have contaminated what that person, Tom Randazzo, actually was hearing on the earphones. Those were noise-canceling earphones. But even with that, normally we would not have people that close. We'd have somebody with the spirit box standing far enough away that we could guarantee they couldn't hear the questions. We had two issues that night. A, they wanted to make sure they got it recorded on camera. And B, there was a nightclub around the corner that
I couldn't believe how noisy that was.
Yeah. Yeah, so they ended up getting together and sitting a little bit closer together than we normally like. So I wanted to give that caveat up front. But they actually got my name and the name of two of the other folks that were down there in the investigation. So that was really good.
I just found it funny when they came up and then you suddenly announced. I think you'd actually gone down there for 5 minutes or something because you had to sort something out, and you came back and told me they want you down out there.
Yeah.
And I did notice on the video that it is it's a little surprising that I'm not sure who's listening to the thing. Spanky's asking the questions and writing it down. I don't know who's listening, but he announced they ask Chris comes through and they say my name, blah blah blah. Can you tell me where Chris is? And it comes through England. Oh, and yes, I thought that was something.
That was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, so overall, Justin's salon in Vero Beach, Florida, pretty successful investigation, I think. Don't you?
It certainly came up with some information, didn't it?
It
didn't come up with as much as other places that we've done in content of people being there. No, that doesn't make sense. In this place, the only one which was really firmly affixed in this place was B. She's the one who's opening doors and brushing against people and having a whale of a time in the afterlife.
Yeah.
But that was it. Whereas in later ones that we've done, there were some a little bit more sinister characters, shall we say, who everybody noticed, and I thought that was far more proof of what's going on. That I'm saying, it gave me more proof rather than me saying this name that I could see and X, Y, and Z. Nobody else seemed to make connection with, except for Spanky at the end with the rods. But
yeah, and there's a very good session at the end of the video with Spanky with the rods too. So please take a look at it. And once again, folks, very, very sorry about the video not coming up. We're trying to get that figured out, and we're not quite sure what's going on. But our next round, which I think you're going to enjoy, and they're working on editing those videos right now. We're going to get them up there. But please do take a look at this video that's going to come up, hopefully not long after the show ends tonight. Because what we want to try and do is, in the last group of shows that we did, we talked about techniques and we talked about theories. Chris and I really want to spend some time talking about what's happening out there and what we're getting, the information we're getting in investigations. And with that, Chris, how are you feeling about joining us in an investigation overseas on Skype? What goes through your mind? How do you feel about it?
What goes through my mind is what goes through my mind all the time. 1, I'm making it up. 2, it's just imagination based upon things that I'm seeing or picking up on. And 3, everybody hates me. And that's just me, as you know.
So when you say you're making it up, what do you mean by that?
I'm imagining it.
You're not doing it purposely, but you're not doing it purposely.
Subconsciously making it up. I don't know. I mean, when I get feedback, then it doesn't make any difference. To tell you the truth, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever, because I still doubt everything that I do, and always have.
But I find that's because you're humble. I want to say hi to somebody. Three Souls Paranormal has joined us. So thank you, Three Souls. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you're going to find our discussion interesting. You're a humble guy. And the one thing that impressed me about you, and I know you hate it when I even say that, was the fact that it wasn't all about you. No. In fact, folks, I could tell you right now, Chris has been reluctant sometimes to join us because he does not want to become the center of attention during our investigations.
I've been with too many groups in the past. I mean, I've been doing this since 1974. And I've seen groups ripped apart because some narcissistic medium walks into the place, starts having a cult of personality start, and the group splits because they just want center stage. Look at me, look at me, look at me. It doesn't matter if they've got any ability at all. It's just look at me, look at me, look at me. And the group splits apart, and it might have been a wonderful group beforehand. It's dead on its feet, and everyone's walked away saying, I don't want anything to do with any of this because it's too much hassle. And I just don't want to be in that situation. If I do anything which comes up with information, I don't want anyone to sort of say, I don't want to influence the investigation. I don't want to influence that. Sorry, I keep so many ideas keep bouncing here. I don't want to influence the investigation. I don't want to say, oh, there's someone over by the left of the room, and then everyone starts saying, oh, I can feel someone over there, or I feel a draft over in that area, which is why I want to do this with Larry, that only he can hear me.
Yeah, and it's worked out really well, as I described for you, and I see Three Souls out there. My wife won't investigate with a medium. Hey, I was the same way, dude, so I get it. But the way we've got our protocol, and of course Chris is way over there in England, I'll walk through the building. I've got the earphones on. My team doesn't hear a thing. But the things that my folks, and we did an investigation at the Vero Beach Women's Club that I'm really anxious to share with you guys. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. We'll be talking about that in an upcoming episode. But my team was telling me things that Chris had already told me, and they didn't realize it, but they ended up corroborating each other. And that really helped. Now, we will say, hey, put a camera over there, or hey, might want to get somebody with a millimeter in that room. We'll do that based upon what Chris might be saying. But nobody really knows what the other side is doing except for me. I'm hearing the team. I'm hearing Chris on the earphones. And it's really, really been a tremendous asset. Members of my team appreciate the fact that Chris is able to corroborate what they're experiencing, and vice versa. So, really, I did not believe, Chris. Take no offense, but I did not believe that folks who are mediums could do this over the phone, much less over Skype.
Neither did
Events events have proven to me that it can happen. Let's see, we got some up there. Oh, here we go. Ike out there in New Mexico, IDK Paranormal. Chris has been spot on with some of my experiences. He had no knowledge and should not have known what he said. He is awesome. He rides a motorcycle, so he really. They do not.
You've got to get on a bike.
No, I ain't getting on a bike. We've had that discussion, dude. Ain't getting on a bike.
You said you like gliding.
I love to fly. You're not putting me on a
motorcycle. It's exactly the same feeling.
We're
that
getting
nice
off
weightlessness.
We're getting off topic. Let's go here. So yeah, and I know because I've talked to Ike that some of the stuff that you told him were spot on. So thank you for that comment, Ike. Spanky out there, he has another way to confirm things that the investigators find, and this is what I was telling you, Chris, because Chris, being the humble guy that he is, he does not want to intrude. But my guys are telling me what he tells them corroborates what they're feeling. It's just a great tool that has worked well with us. And if you folks out there that have teams can find a way to do this, give it a try.
You see,
but you got to have the right kind of medium.
I've now got my team nomination, haven't I? So you've got team leader, team tech guy, team investigator, team. I'm just team great tool.
Team what?
Great tool.
Great tool. Well, we're all tools, so to speak, in coming up with the answers. That's what we've got to do. And folks, that's what I really want to express to you. We've all got to work together to find out the best way to get the answers. Debbie out there, Debbie Enzi, that's Ike's wife. Yes, I agree with Ike. Chris has a fabulous talent. Keep up the great work. So, and let me tell you,
don't believe the bullshit, people. Don't believe the bullshit.
It works, trust me, and people have faith in you, Chris. So, but do take in mind, folks, we've all got to be careful as we investigate. We've got to keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to keep it objective. We've got to not get excited over little pieces of evidence until we've checked it out.
Not hype it and lie.
Not hype it and lie.
That's important.
And most importantly, if you're dealing with folks that, as Chris likes to say, look at me, those are the ones that you need to be
You don't
cautious
want them anywhere near you. And appreciate that spirits are people.
Yeah, at least
you do not treat them like something that you buy on an app. They are people. You've got to be respectful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a hallmark of what we try to do. Now, you do an investigation. I want to toss this out to you since we're kind of off the video with the video.
We're off the video. Yeah, I know.
We're off topic. You all of you, I know we make mistakes during investigations that we look at the videos, go back, why did I do that, or why did that happen? It's going to happen. Just try your best to get it right. Try your best to follow your protocols, and most importantly, when you make a mistake, just try hard not to do it the next time, because stuff happens, especially in the heat of the moment. One thing that we have forgotten to do a couple times, and I don't, Spanky, is Tina listening? I see you're still out there, Spank. I don't know if Tina's listening or not, but one thing we keep forgetting to do is doing a blessing before we start and blessing at the end. Now, we're getting much better at it, but for a long time, that was something we forgot to do, and I do want to kind of give you that bit of advice too. Make sure you protect yourself coming and going. And Chris, how do you describe it? It's not necessarily a religious issue. How do you describe protecting yourself?
That's one of these can of worms questions. How do you
It is. Well,
describe it?
just give
It's
us
a
give your opinion. I know what you're going to say. Just your opinion.
everybody has a layer around them, which is a protective barrier from spirit interference. If you do certain things, then you lessen this protection. So what you actually want to do is whatever you believe in, and you might believe in the power of the Easter Bunny, it doesn't matter. Because as long as you believe in it, firmly believe in it, that at the end of the time, end of the day, something's going wrong, you're going to call on the Easter Bunny to come and save you. That's power. That's the power of belief, and
Power
that will
belief.
strengthen your protection. And at the end of things, you firmly say, "Sod off! You're not following me home."
Bingo, bingo. You have dominion over your own life. And hey, Debbie
Yeah.
NZ, did you hear that? The
No,
Easter Bunny.
the
Okay, did you
Easter Bunny.
catch that, Deb?
Absolutely, the Easter Bunny. You can believe in whatever you want, but you have to believe. I'm not saying, oh, today I'm going to believe in this and this. It's, the shit is hitting the fan. What do you believe in?
So do you think that kind of brings it back to what's in our heart, what's in our soul, what's
Yeah. What
the
do you
strength of,
believe?
yeah.
It comes firmly. What do you believe when the shit is hitting the fan, when the car's about to hit you, when the bus is going to run you over? What do you believe in? It's that. And that's the one that you ask for protection from.
Interesting take. Interesting take. Well, on that note, my friend, we've really run past our time, but it was a great
I can't
discussion.
believe that. That's just gone so fast.
I know. And
I haven't
once
even
again,
finished my beer.
I know, and I'm only halfway through the Stratus Mexican Porter. This is really good from Pareidolia Brewery. It's got that nice spice
There,
to it.
I
Really, really
finished
good.
it. There we are.
There you
we
go.
we can stop now. I finished it.
Oh, all right, folks. Once again, sorry about the mix-up with the video. I'm going to go ahead and when I get done here and put it public so that you can see it. We will endeavor to try and fix this little problem up when we come back to see you in a couple weeks. But we appreciate everybody out there watching. We hope maybe we've shared some things with you that might help you in your investigations. Maybe sparked an interest to do things a different way. What we do with Chris has really been a boon to our team, at least. Even if Chris is, just Chris. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just me.
But
I'm just
but
me. I make it
but
all
I
up.
no. Tell me, pal. I'll tell you, pal. You've given a lot of good information. What's Debbie saying out there? Tell them they cannot come home with me. Absolutely. Drink up, gents. We will. Bobby Garcia, for your service. This is for you, my dear friend.
I would join you, but I finished mine.
And this is for Ike. Both retired cops, and Bobby's a retired judge also.
Are you drinking that out of a glass?
Yeah. Ryan's there. Hey, Ryan. Yes, I poured it into a glass, Ryan.
What we'll have to do is when you actually come over, we'll try and do a recorded session in a watch office. Sorry, a control tower for Americans.
Control tower. Folks,
a World War
II
control tower, which is my purdue, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's your wheelhouse, as we say.
And we'll go around, and you can take all your gizmos and gadgets and flashy things, and I'll just tell you what's happening.
Oh, Debbie says we still have 10 minutes. I guess.
There we are.
Oh, then Debbie, we'll keep talking. What do you say about that, then, Deb? Thank you very much for that. We'll just keep chatting. Yeah, the watch office, and I want Christopher Hoff Investigates. Is that your channel?
Oh, I have no idea. That's me. I don't pay any attention to anything.
I know you don't. You're such a pain in the butt about that. But I will tell you this, folks. I'm going to bear with me here. I'm going to tell you where Chris is at. He is putting up, Chris Huff Investigates. He has put up some really terrific videos on not only RAF watchtowers or control towers, but also, there we go, different castles and whatnot in England.
Absolutely bloody anything.
It's
been doing this for so long that I even bore myself.
But King's Cliff, to you, it was King's Cliff you put out today.
That was the one for today.
Yeah. And so take a look at some of them. Some of them have EVPs, some of them are just historical walkthroughs of buildings. But let's face it, if you're here in the U.S., there are, to us, 200 years is old. That's yesterday to folks in England.
That's yesterday.
So
I love it when you say it's a really old house. It was built in 1920.
But Chris Huff Investigates. Let me see if I can get that up there.
Oh,
there
God.
We go.
Get rid of that. No. Get rid of that. God's sake, it'll rot your phone.
Yeah. Ryan, I don't know if you can put that on the notes for our show, Chris Huff Investigates. I would appreciate that if you could do that for me,
but
son.
What I'm trying to do at the moment with the watch office is a guided tour through it, or rather a tour through it, with more emotional content, which is how I walk through them. Yeah.
Explain that a little bit more, because I want folks to. I get what you're saying.
I don't walk through a building and see it with my eyes. I see it with my heart. I see it with my emotions, because that's what's going on. You hear the past, you get flashes of the past, you get flashes of people, you get activities from the past, you get people wandering through the building saying, hello, my name's Tom, and he's gone. And I'm trying to give an impression of people, to people of what it's like for me walking through these places, and it's completely different. It's taking it to a realm which nobody else has done, I don't think.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating. So I know I think Judge Dredge has been on and seen some of his stuff. I know some other folks have. Debbie Phelan's been on there, takes a look at it, and she visits us on occasion. So please, Chris Huff Investigates. I really, really urge you to take a look at it and subscribe and like to it. You'll enjoy it.
And Kingscliff was an American base.
Kingscliff was an American
with
base.
One of the Eagle squadrons at.
Yeah. Now, Eagle squadrons were Americans flying for the Royal Air Force in the early part of the Second World War. Later to become the 4th Fighter Group, I might add.
Indeed. But they flew Spitfires.
They flew Mark V Spits. Actually, they started off in Mark IIA Hurricanes.
But I hope you noticed I put the Hurricanes up for you.
I did, and I appreciate it. That's what my dad wanted to fly. Ended up in bombers, but my dad was an American, went over there, so that's kind of how Chris and I got together. But I don't want to bore you with all that. All right, folks. Well, let's see. Bobby Garcia says, we'd love to have you here in New Mexico. We've got an invite, Chris. We have some old history. Yes, you do. More so than Florida for you guys. Plus, he'll provide beer, food, and whiskey. Judge, we're on the way.
Only if I can rent a motorbike.
If you want to rent a motorbike, go ahead. Then you're going to end up crashing it. We'll start investigating you.
Yeah, you drive on the wrong side of the road, don't you?
Yeah, quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks. We're going to call it a night. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you for putting up with my usual technical inabilities, but I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We would really, really like you to hit subscribe, hit like, and hit the little icon bell, the bell icon on there.
Come back next week. Or whenever we do the next one.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Just keep an eye out. Hit subscribe, hit like, join us again. Let's make this a forum for all of us to talk and get together.
Absolutely, that's what it's about.
And learn more, share more about the profession. So with that, folks, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time and see you on the other side. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.